On your graphing calculator, there's a few buttons that you need to be aware of. The first one is the y equals button. The y equals button is right here. That's where you enter things that you want to graph. When you enter things that you want to graph, you're going to need to enter x as well. So you need to know where the x button is. The x button is right next to the alpha button. It says x, comma, t, comma, theta, comma, n. So that's your x button. If you need to enter x, that's the button you push. We will also need to be looking at the graph and the table today. So your graph button is here. Most of your calculators, I apparently graphed y equals x. Most of your calculators are already set nicely to graph. If your graph ever looks funny and you want help redoing how the graph looks, let me know. I'll gladly help you with that. Do you notice above your graph button it says table? That's another window that's going to be very helpful for us today. So to get to the table, you push second and then graph, and that takes you into the table that shows you the ordered pairs that are graphed. Okay, so on this exploration, the parent function is actually already graphed here for us, but for the sake of comparing, we want this in our calculator as well. So our parent function is y equals the square root of x. Let's enter the square root of x into our calculator. So in the y equals, we need the square root of x. So second x squared, your square root is above your x squared button. So second x squared, make sure you see the square root symbol on your screen. And then push your x. You can push enter if you want to move down. You don't have to push enter, but push graph and you will see the calculator graph the square root of x function. Now to see the table of values, you push second graph. That'll take you into the table. Notice -2, it says error. -1, it says error. Basically, any negative numbers, it says error. Think about that. Can you take the square root of a negative number? No. So this graph doesn't start until the point 0, 0. 0, 0 is the first point on this graph. And if you look back at the graph, notice it does not continue beyond 0, 0. It ends there. And that's because this is the square root of x function. You can't take the square root of a negative number. So all of our points are going to be in that first quadrant where you have a positive x value and a positive y value. We're going to leave this in our y1. Go back to your y equals button. Leave y1 alone, and on your fancy colored screens, that'll be the blue graph. The next one is the red graph. We're going to enter the square root of x plus 2. So second x squared to get your square root function. X plus 2. Push the graph button and let's see what happens. If you do not have a color screen, you just have to look at which graph is graphed second. If you have a color screen, your original graph is blue, your new graph is, I believe, red. What happened? It moved over to which direction? Left. Do you find it interesting that it says plus 2, but it moved left 2? Let's go to the table and let's record some points.